Welcome back to Own the Shift. I'm your host, Mel Mosier. Today we're talking about the S in shift. It stands for see it clearly. Seeing it clearly is not just knowing what is happening, it is owning your part in it and being brutally honest with yourself. It is dropping the filters you've been hiding behind. This is where self-accountability and self-awareness meet. Without this step, your shift will not stick. This is the episode where we put the mirror in front of us, not the microscope, on everyone else. So if you're ready to get real, let's get started. What does it mean to see it clearly? Seeing it clearly is the first step in any shift, and often the most uncomfortable. It is where we stop sugarcoating. We stop making excuses. We stop blaming every outside factor for what is happening in your life, our life. It is choosing to look at your life without the Instagram filter. No overexposure, no touch-up, no perfect angles, just the truth. If you cannot see it clearly, you cannot shift. You will keep circling the same patterns, telling yourself the same story, wondering why nothing changes. Self-accountability is the truth teller. It is not beating yourself up. It is about being honest about where you may have dropped the ball, where you avoided the hard conversation, where you chose comfort over growth. It is saying, I contributed to the situation without spiraling into shame. The moment you take ownership, you take your power back. Blame keeps you stuck. Accountability gets you moving again. Yes, it could sting, but that sting is there as the first sign that you are waking up and you want to shift. You want to change. Self-awareness is the game changer. Self-awareness is knowing yourself well enough to spot your patterns, your triggers, your blind spots before they take you out again. You hear it before time and time again. Hurt people, or nothing ever changes, but you still do the same things. That's the definition of insanity. It is noticing that you're catching something is making you uncomfortable and changing it mid-sentence. That is self-awareness. It is noticing which situations drain you, which people trigger you, which choices never led you where you wanted to go in the first place, but you did it anyways. So now you need to pivot. Without self-awareness, you will mistake motion for progress. You will think you are shifting when really you are just redecorating the same room in your life over and over again. Why it matters in your shift. Seeing it clearly matters because you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot grow past something you will not admit is there. The blinders don't count. Take them off. Self-accountability keeps you from outsourcing your growth. It says, this is my work to do. I own my healing. I own my shift. Self-awareness keeps you from self-sabotage. It says, I know myself well enough to see where I tripped up. I am not falling for it again. The S in shift is the hardest step for most people because it's the only one in here that requires you to stop pointing fingers at everyone else or everything else and start raising your hand. It's like Taylor Swift. It's me. I'm the problem. You can see it clearly right now because you're listening. You do not need another life crisis to start seeing it clearly. You can start today. You chose to listen to this podcast for a reason because you are interested in what shift would look like in your life. Ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know the truth? Where am I blaming? Someone else for something? Do I have the power to change it? What patterns keep showing up in my life that I keep explaining away instead of addressing them? When you answer honestly, you will feel it in your gut. That is your starting line. So grab your journal or your notes app or whatever's handy. Here we go. Number 1, write down one situation in your life you have been blaming on someone else. How have you contributed to it? What part can you own? Number 2, list 3 of your most common excuses. For each one, write the truth underneath it. Number 3, think of one trigger that constantly gets the best of you. What is the story you tell yourself in that moment? And is it even true? Number 4, decide on one small action that will prove you are ready to see it clearly. It could be an honest conversation, setting a new boundary for yourself, or simply admitting the truth to yourself out loud. Say it with me. I will not lie to myself anymore. I will not lie to myself anymore. My shift starts with my sight. If this episode challenged you, good. That means you are in it. Tag me on Instagram or any of the social medias at Own the Shift and tell me one thing you are seeing more clearly today. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next step in the shift framework. You have more power than you think, but you cannot use it if you refuse to see it. Special thanks to Catwalk Media Group for bringing this podcast to life and for believing in the power of these conversations. If you're ready to put your own voice into the world, check them out. Disclaimer time. This podcast is rooted in real experiences and personal growth work, but it is not therapy. I am not a licensed therapist, and this is not substituted for professional care. If you need deeper support, reach out to a licensed counselor or mental health professional. You deserve that level of care, and you do not have to do this alone.